So our next speaker is from Europe. His name is Tom. He's from one of our experts, ACA IT Solutions, and he's going to walk you through the journey to graduate from using email to do IT support. So please join me in welcoming Tom.
Hi. Thanks. Hi, everyone. This is awesome. I definitely should take a selfie afterwards. But first, let's start with this great show of mine. Thank you for joining me in my great new presentation called How to Graduate from Email Support. I'm Tom. I'm coming from Belgium. That's a small little tiny country in Europe, next to France, Netherlands, Germany, Luxembourg. And we're kind of famous for our beer, our chocolate, fries, Jean-Claude Van Damme. But people in the United States, who is from the US over here? Yeah, you should know us, because in July, we hosted you guys from the FIFA's World Cup in Brazil, yeah! Thanks to our Red Devils. But who am I? I'm Tom Wars. I'm working for ACA as an Atlassian expert. We're providing Atlassian solutions for so many years. For myself, I'm implementing the stack for more than 4 years, I think. I did more than 6 implementations, and there's one recurring theme that keeps bugging, and people really struggle with providing support. What kind of support? Well, the kind of support where you have something like 600 emails a day. Might be spam, might be just some fan mail, hate mail. But 600 mails a day, that means that you will have a crazy 3,000 mails per week. And that leads to a whopping 12,000 mails per month. And that's crazy, right? So how do we handle this amount? How do we work on this? I wanted to share some best practices with you. So we solved the problem so many times with so many customers, and therefore I wanted to provide you with some kind of maturity model, just a set of practices, and to see how you could iterate into the next wave of providing support, and that you might have some pointers in how to achieve the specific goal. And I decided to map this on a metaphor that we all might know, a school. And not a normal school, but the school of support. So today I'm taking you on a journey. We will start with the nursery school, and we will move on, and we will end graduating from university. Isn't that cool? Yeah, it is. So let's start with the nursery school. So in the nursery school, we're just basically toddlers. We're encouraged to try things out. Everything is good, everything is fine. Things that work, they do stick. And how does this map to support? Well, basically, we've got this. We've got a mailbox that's full of emails, and the only thing we have to organize ourselves is our mail client. So this can be Outlook, this can be Gmail for Business, this can be Lotus Notes, or other things. But the client doesn't really matter, because all the clients share one same thing, and that's that we're able to structure things using labels or folders, or how they might be called. We can introduce some basic rules. So everybody just does their best to create a structure and make sure that we will be able to handle a flood of email coming in over and over and over again. So this is our structure that we're building, and basically this is a struggle for everyday IT worker these days, unfortunately. So just take this image into a schematic version of our support desk. So basically we have a black box of support. It's blue over here because it's much nicer Atlassian colors. And on the left we have our customers, and customers are a bit puzzled because they just ask something to support and they don't know really if their email was received well. What's the status of the question? How long have they wait? They don't know. The support team as well is a bit puzzled. What should they work on? How do we prioritize all of things? So this can be better. So let's move on to our journey, and let's move to the primary school. And primary school, as we know, is the one where we learn to write, learn to read, we learn mathematics, all the cool stuff doing. So the first thing, what we learn at our support primary school is, of course, introduce an external tool. And therefore, I introduce Jira. So of course, I don't have to tell all the features of Jira, because I think all you guys know Jira. If you don't, there are lots of demonstrations of Jira going on over there. Basically, what we do is every time we get an email, we just create a ticket in Jira and we paste the email into the ticket. So we do some manual work, but in return we get prioritizations, we get categories, we can follow up a bit. Every time we send an email, we can just copy and paste the mail back into Jira and we document the whole process. So that's nice, but we have manual steps. And in IT, we hate manual work. So of course, we just include the mail handlers. This is a basic feature for Jira, Jira Cloud, Jira Server, Jira Data Center. Can just make sure that Jira just eats your mail and creates some value for you. So it can create a new ticket or can create a new comment based on existing tickets. And there we lost the signal for one moment, but we're back again. All right, there we are. So we just automate it, and that's cool. So basically, we create a system where the support team has better support for handling their tasks. And so they can see, instead of just email boxes full of mails but where everyone should reread the mails, we just have tickets. We see when the tickets were created, we can see who worked on it, when you worked on it. So it's much better, and for the customer, it's a bit a better approach. This is kind of stage where most of companies actually still reside in. So we shouldn't. And we should move to the next level. And the next level is, of course, a secondary school, or high school, as you might call it. And in the high school, it's really the start of our adult life. So we learn more, and we build on top of knowledge that we gained previously in our primary years. So how does this work for our supporting school? Well, the first thing is that we're going to improve the current system. And the first thing that we want to improve is, of course, our communication channel. So instead of just copy and pasting all these emails, all the comments that we send to our customers, we add another add-on to the party. And one add-on that's basically very good at it, at this task is email this issue add-on. And this is basically an add-on that will give you an extra option in your interface to create a message to the customer. The message will be nicely formatted, that it doesn't look like a Jira message, but really like a business message coming from your support desk. Automatically, the message is being pasted in your communication stream as well, so it's nice, looks good, gives a better integrated approach for everything. Other part of the communication channel is, of course, the input, and therefore there's a great add-on from the plugin people, the enterprise mail handler for Jira. Interface might be a bit rocket science-y, but actually there's a lot of value in this plugin, in that you can take your ticket, you can take your mail, you can create a ticket out of it, and you can extract so much information from it. So of course we have the body, we have the subject, but thanks to this plugin we can also extract the domain from the user. We can do some whitelisting, blacklisting. If we have specifics, like automated mails, we can start scraping information. Very powerful. If you want more information, they have a booth over there. Just go ahead and ask some demo. So that really helps us for gathering much better input, and better input will definitely lead into better actions for us ourselves, of course. Moving on, next thing that we want to do, so we improved our communication channel. Next thing is that we want to improve the way how we work with it. So let's improve our business handling, and of course we can make use of the powerful feature of Jira called workflows. So workflows, as we saw before in all the other sessions in the service track, you can just create your business process inside of Jira, or you can create a specific one specifically for service desk. For example, some statuses where you can see that an issue or mail is in waiting, waiting on a customer, waiting on internal support. You can see who's in charge of it, all the likes. Very powerful thing. But of course, we need to pimp it to really make it powerful. And therefore, there are lots of plugins, lots of add-ons. Jira Suite Utility, Jira Miscellaneous thing, Jira Toolkit. One of the most powerful is the script runner. This is a plugin that not only makes it very easy to tie things together, but also to give us some escalation services. Escalation like a customer that doesn't respond. We definitely want that out of a system, because otherwise we end up with just thousands and thousands of issues waiting on customer. So automatically gently push, ask them for another comment, and close it automatically otherwise. Also, make sure that you automate it, that they can just reply and automatically it will be reopened, and they have a very good experience. You can also automate other things, things like Lucas said in the session before, that also things that we can do with the script runner. But of course, when I talk about processes and business, there's another problem or another challenge that we might face, that the level of people that we're working on might differ. We not only have our internal support system, but we also have other people with other skills. We might, for example, have some questions that might go to legal or to HR, and they might have their own process. So we definitely want to introduce multiple levels, first level, second level support. We all might know that. But also we might want to push and pull other people into our supporting system, into our supporting solution. How can we do that? Well, we're just going to combine the two business processes together. Just will combine the two workflows together. And basically in Jira, you have two ways of doing that. And the first way is just by creating a subtask, and let the subtask follow another track. Another one will just by creating another ticket for the other group, and let that other group follow their own process. For creating the tickets and follow-up, there's a fantastic by Bob Swift. Also, you can find him in the sponsor booth. For linking the things together and make sure that those two issues are kept in sync, there's a great add-on called Exose by the Valiantes people. They also have a booth, and definitely check it out. Not only for this case, but for so many cases, just to keep them in sync. Map the fields, very powerful, very cool. So let's take a look at our supporting system. How does it look right now? Well, we opened up a little. We have a single point of contact right now in our support system. So customers can just ask any question, and internally we will reroute it to the correct person, and they will get answer. They won't get answers like, yeah, just send an email to HR, send an email to. No, we will just make the process so much better for them. Also, the customers are very happy because they get better information, more information, and also there's a kind of handoff with the team itself. They can see who responded to the ticket, and they can make sure that they don't ask the same question twice. But of course, this is not the ultimate goal of our solution. So let's move further. Let's move forward to the university. The university of our supporting school will be a typical university. Like we will be working, we will testing some books, some theories. We will look at some giants. We will be some critical. And the first thing that we criticize and we will challenge is the use of email as a primary mailing channel. Do we want that? No, definitely not. So let's just create our supporting dream. What would be our Valhalla for support? Well, basically, this should like Valhalla. So this is our supporting ticketing dream, just an open system where people can come in. There's just one single entry, this single exit. It's very open. All our customers are encouraged to go ahead and just ask their support and be helped. So what is important in our supporting dream and our ultimate solution is, of course, very easy editing. So people should create a ticket in the most easy way possible. It's not only easy like it must look easy, but also make sure that you criticize every single field that is placed on the field. Is everything necessary? Is everything really needed to be there or not? Might be hard. Lots of ours are just working in the systems. We see those every day, and we are a bit cursed by the curse of knowledge. Like for us, it's so simple because we know the whole interface for our end users might not be the same. So just make sure that it's a real smooth way for them to create their tickets. Of course, also important for our users, let's give them a very good place to go to. The first thing they should see in our supporting solution should be a very good dashboard portal where they can immediately see what's important to them. So what's the status of my tickets? How can I create another issue? Are there other things that might be important to me? Other thing that we definitely should implement into our ideal situation is self-help documentation. So instead of just taking documentation, creating it for our own support people, why not chop it up in smaller pieces? Instead of writing it for our own experience stuff, just rewrite small chunks of it and make sure that it can be sent to our users, that they can easily find it. And you will be so glad because even before you could start delivering support, they have found a solution. At last, but not least, is of course the reporting. We just had a great session about SLAs in the morning, where other great sessions about reporting, KPIs, PIs, and all the likes. It's very important to have some metrics that we know how we are achieving, and also that we see where we can improve. And if we take a schematic view of this kind of support system, we see the typical solution that might be delivered just by using Jira's service desk. It's not necessary, but as you might see, all these kind of features perfectly map without any additional tools necessary. So what do we have? We have a very nice looking guy providing documentation. So a customer can just see some typical documented problems, and they can self-help before they even need to create a ticket. That's awesome. That's great if we can add that to our existing solution. Another thing is that we created a support desk that's so open that we have a very smooth, very rich communication channel. So instead of just documenting and just pushing to the customer what the status of their ticket is, they can always, at any time, just check it themselves. And that's great. That's really something that reduces the amount of email that needs to be sent. It really takes some time out of your busy day and gives you some time in return. So that's cool, but are we there yet? Not completely. Some of the daredevils even want to achieve a PhD and want to dive deeper, fly higher. So they will go after a PhD, and they are looking for some topics to excel in, really so the topping on the cake, so to say. So first topic might, of course, be integrations. How can we integrate, and how can we improve the experience by integrating into other systems? One thing that's very clear is providing as much information as possible for your customer. For example, when you're asking for a customer to define which version of a system, maybe you know which version of a system your customer is using. If you have a CMDB, if you keep track of what kind of information, what version, what environment your customer is using, maybe it's good just to provide it to them and make sure that you have much better input. Don't ask a question that you can respond yourself, because this way you're just providing much better, much richer support. Other integrations might, of course, be calendar support, support for SLAs, as we saw with Lucas. Some customers just might have better SLAs or temporary better SLAs. We can even introduce some other notifications, like SMS notifications, like HipChat notifications, or even specific scripts to perform some tasks, that we have a complete solution. For example, creating users, maybe just we can integrate it as well. Other point of interest might be a portal solution. So we said that a great portal is really very valuable for the customer, but we can make it better. Maybe we can show also their commitment, how we perform for them, what our SLAs might be in the past and the future. We might show availability of our services. They can proactively also react and see things are at the moment, I don't need to create a ticket because I can see that the status will be better within half an hour, for example. We can push messages to them, or we can do other cool things. For example, if you provide support on a credit basis, why not show the amount of credits they have left, how many credits they have used already. So all those things we can put onto our portal. But we can also work on our feedback. As we saw this morning in the session of Atlassian, it's very important to incorporate our customer feedback. How happy are they using our products? How happy are they using our solution? And what do we want with it? So might be just a survey, might be just that we start parsing thank you mails. Basically, you just want to tackle this instead of getting all those thank you mails. Talking about measurements, we can take measurements into a global scope. Why not measure, for example, Google Analytics onto our documentation solution, that we might see how many tickets were not created. What are people looking for into our documentation? Maybe we should start reacting proactively and start creating that kind of topics. Or just BI. Do our support inquiries increase after specific releases, after we change our teams, our support on days of the weeks, days of the months, and so likes. So very much possible. And if we implement all this, we got there. we have fireworks, and we graduated. At this moment in time, we have a supporting desk that's not driven by email. We started with email. We improved, we added an additional system. We improved our communication channel. We added so much more things. And in the end, we're there. Our customers are happy than so much ever before. Thank you. All right, questions. There are several people on my support team. Some get emails directly from users sometimes. Many of them come emails. Well, how do you encourage your customers to interact with your ticketing application in the way you want? Yes, that's the golden question, of course. Problem is, we definitely want to go to one channel. And the preferred channel is, of course, the direct channel, because it provides the most information. Instead of just free text in a subject and free text in a body, we might have free text in the description and have some metadata, like steps to reproduce or other things that really are necessary for a specific range of problems. This is just make sure, or situations where I was in, just by stopping providing support by email and moving to the more advanced solution. So you can give some, let's say, a month of a deprecation notice, and after a specific date, you just stop providing support. Just a problem by people doing too good for others. Also people just wanting to good and answering by phone and email, and people just start asking them questions and asking them for support. So just stop that. It's hard, but it's better for them, of course. You're painting a picture of the ultimate support experience. What about incorporating self-service? Yeah, so in the ultimate support experience, of course, self-service would be a very specific part. We definitely want people to find the information they need. So therefore, it's very important to create documentations that are important and that can be easily understood by your customers. So stop writing very long pages which answer like 10 questions. Just try to start making pages that will answer one question at a time. And also the other self-service part is, of course, just by letting people check the status of their tickets themselves, you will decrease the amount of email necessary. So people will just, they can check anytime what the status of the ticket is, and they can say just a thank you comment in a ticket. You just stop asking all the things separately. No questions left?
Thank you, Tom.
All right,
thank you very much.